So wonderful on today. Amen, amen. You may be seated on today if you want to. You thank God. We're back again in the house one more time. Glad to be in the service one more time. Amen, amen. God is awesome. We thank Him. I truly hope that we're here and we appreciate being at church for all the right reasons. Amen. Amen. I mean, we're just here just to kill the time. It's not doing us any good. So we can kill all the time in the house of the Lord, but I mean, truly we need to make sure that we allow the Holy Spirit to saturate us, to bring change in our lives. Amen. 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 Just have a question for you on today. Have anybody just have ever felt like they had life all figured out? Y'all ever been down that road? I know I have. But when you begin to think that you got life all figured out, that's when things went for a change. Amen. And that change pretty much went for the worse. Y'all been down that road, or somebody right there right now. Things went totally opposite of what you expected to go. You know, they teach us, they used to ask us that a lot, when we were younger. What do you want to be in life? Y'all remember those questions all the time. Young people don't get that question too often today. But they used to ask you all the time, what do you want to be when you grow up? And most of the time you strive to live up to that and become what you wanted to be when you were younger. How many end up being what you wanted to be when you grew up? That's okay. I know you still got time. Look at somebody and say, you still got time. Still got time. You're not dead yet. So you do have time. But it started a process of trying to figure life out and truly how you felt like things was going to be. But I'm talking to the point of, understanding who God is and, being that person that you realize that, I want my life to go this way. And we even prayed about it. For those that prayed about it and we consulted God and we know what the Word of God says, and we was just quoting scriptures, and we understand how we shall not die, and we're gonna live. We understand that God has plans for us, these hopes that He has for us, that life He wants for us. So we quoted all those things, but yet in the midst of it still didn't turn out like the way we wanted to. Y'all been down that road, say hallelujah. Hallelujah. But if you on today, if you are hard-headed, we got any hard-headed folks in here, they're not going to say anything. But if you a stiff-neck, everybody know what a stiff-neck is? Know-it-all, mean, lying, cheating, disobedient, realm spirit, unruly, or just one of God's idiot child, then this is not for you on today. Because I'm pretty much guarantee you, if I call all those things out, and you got that ram spirit anyway, because y'all know what a ram is. A ram, no matter how you tell it what to do, once you turn your back, it's going to ram you. Look at your neighbor and say, don't ram me. Don't ram me. So that means you're going to always kick against what God says. Unruly. Just plain old disobedient. Want to have it your way, right? Truly, advocates for Bobby Brown. It's my prerogative. I can do what I want to do. Some don't know what that was coming from. You lost me, Pastor. Not giving any glory to him. Praying for that brother that he gets saved. But this question is not for you if that's a part of your life, because pretty much if you're stiff-necked and you're hard-headed, you truly are unruly, ram-spirited, and you just don't want to obey, then that question is not for you. I really want to talk to, and I'm really not talking to that person that is just, allow these self-inflicted problems to come upon your life. Because I know a lot of things that we have happen to us, a lot of those things can be caused by us, right? And I'm not saying that none of us are perfect. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, Don't forget.
Don't forget.
You're not perfect.
You're not perfect.
But I'm talking to those that are striving to live the best way that they know how. We got anybody here like that? Can we get one or two? Or three maybe? You know, I understand how the righteous shall scarcely make it in. But those people that truly are striving to live life the best way they know how, then you are considered God's special people. Amen. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor,
Neighbor,
are you special?
are you special?
Just take a look at it. Let's just get away from it. Just take a little look at it for a few minutes, right? Do they look special to you? And I'm not talking about that special type of stuff. But I'm talking about that special that's connected to God. Right? I'm talking about that person that is saved and sanctified and Holy Ghost filled. That's the person. Pretty much you're faithful and you're loving, you're unwavering and you're uncompromising. And you're special. Ask somebody sitting beside you, is that you?
That's you.
Thought for the day, I want you to just find your neighbor beside you. Don't matter, it can be behind you. They can have their head down and don't want to look at you, that's okay. We realize here, we don't need your face to talk to you, we just gonna talk to you anyway. And once you look at that neighbor, I want you to look them directly in the eyes. Let's tell them something on today. Maybe they don't know this, but once you find them, let's just look them directly in the eyes. Once you have them, I just want you to say this to them. Tell them, neighbor. Tell them this. Special people have special problems that bring special rewards. Talking about the special ones now. You're faithful, loving, unwavering, uncompromising. That makes you special. And you may be right now going through something and dealing with something, but that makes you special. So let's tell them one more time. Tell them, neighbor, special people have special problems that bring special rewards. How many are ready for your reward? Genesis, the 37th chapter, I'm going to piggyback off of Elder, because Elder came into my office just the other day, and I was talking to him, and he began to say, wait a minute, Pastor, don't, you getting ready, I got to go because you're going to preach my sermon, but but it was already a sermon in the midst. So we're going to get into this. I never just was able to just go through this in detail. We're going to try to take it word by word on today. Amen. So we're going to talk again about Joseph. Somebody say Joseph. Joseph was a special person. But in the midst of Joseph being special, it created special problems. But at the end, he gained a special reward. I feel that right now because it's something about in the midst of the things that we go through, and somebody's striving right now to try to live the best that they know how. They're trying to do everything that they know how to do. But how do they know still in their life things are not going the way that they want it? But I'm here to let you know today, and I want to preach some hope to you. I want to sell some hope to you because I don't want you to give up on God, because God is in the midst of working something out special for you. And you don't want to take it out of the oven until it's just right. That's what he want to do. And so we begin to question and want to know why and how and why is this going this way? But God is trying to work something out for your good. You just got to continue to be special. That person that remain in the strive to do all you can to be saved. That's for one thing, to be saved, to be sanctified, to set yourself aside. And how many know it's a task to be set aside sometimes? Everybody come to church ain't sanctified. Look at somebody and tell them, everybody come here ain't sanctified. Man, how many know there's some people just in church just to be in church? I'm talking to the ones they're striving. But that's okay. Long as you're breathing, you might feel left out. But at the end of the service on today, we're going to be able to open up and let you into that area that you can be considered special. And so we're talking about a special brother that went through some special things. But one thing about it, we know that God made sure that it worked it out for his good. Amen. Look at somebody and say, God is working it.
God is working it.
Amen. Amen. You looking at the finances, it don't look too good right now. You looking at your children, it don't look too good right now. Do somebody know what I'm talking about right now? Say, I know about that. But how many know you just still got to hold on to God? Amen. Somebody say, hold on to God, unchanging hand. I don't know about his unchanging hand, but I'm going to hold on to God. Amen. Because sometimes you think that you have things all figured out and you're striving to do all you can, but it throws a loop. Amen. I started thinking about one time, and I heard this before, and just thinking about leaving your home. And you know, you got up early in the morning and got dressed. And you know, and you were looking at the time and you was able to sit down and you commune with God and pray, do all those things, and you know, had an extra time on your hand just to get to work. So you got in your car and you bagged out the driveway and you begin to head down your route. And the next thing you know, once you got almost to that street that was going to take you to your job, there was a detour. And in detours, they take you to that long about route to get you to that destination that you need to get to. But along the way, anybody ever been driving through a detour? And it took you places you never went before. You driving in your car, next thing you look and say, oh, I ain't never know that was there. Then you drive on down a little further, then you say, oh, I didn't know that was there. Took you places that you never would thought you was going, but it finally got you to the place that you need to get to. But when you once realized the reason why it was a detour there, it was the fact that something had happened to somebody that saved your life. See, what God allowed to happen to them, he didn't want it to happen to you because it was going to affect your destiny. And so sometimes when we're going through situations and we wonder why life turns and take a detour, God is just trying to use that detour as a vehicle to get you to the destiny that he wants you to be in. Amen. And so most of the time, we don't appreciate detours, do we? We don't want to go. Why is this? Because it's frustrating. It's putting me in a place I don't want to go. It may make me late, but most of the time you get there on time, but you just don't like it. And we acquire that in life. When detours come our way, we don't appreciate it. But I remember one time around about 2007, there was an incident that happened on one of the Mississippi bridges, and yet there were 18 people that traveled that way, and the bridge and one of the truss went out, and 18 people lost their life. 100 and about 140 something was injured. But I guarantee you, if there was one of us doing that time driving through there, and God blessed us that we were able to be saved and we were living, we would appreciate that detour. So sometimes we don't realize that God gives us detours in our life because we're special. Because we're praying and we're fasting. I'm not talking about anybody, because somebody going to say, amen, preacher, you sure right. But you're the one that's hard-headed, unfaithful. I'm talking about the ones that are faithful, striving to do all they can. But how many know that God allowed this detour in your life because you're special? He's trying to get you a special reward. So look at somebody and say, just hold on.
Just hold on.
Hold on. Just look at this. It says, now Jacob dwelt in the land where his fathers was a stranger. I like how this starts out because it talks about Jacob, and just by calling out Jacob, it kind of opens up your understanding what all had took place without going through, well, this person begot this person begot this person, and all that. Just take you through all of that, which it cuts through the chase and take you right directly into what God wants us to hear on today. But I want to give you an understanding on today, because sometimes when we have special problems, a lot of our special problems come from this very point. It's because of the fact is, as it said, Jacob dwelt in the land where his fathers were a stranger. Somebody say a stranger. He said they were strangers in the land of Canaan. So a lot of times, the reason why it makes it so hard to accept, this detour of the special problem that God has placed in our life, first of all, we got to make up in our mind that we are strangers here. This is not my home. See, during this time, they had not received their inheritance of the land, so they were like vagabonds. They were moving from place to place. God had not given them their inheritance, so they were strangers. And so yet, in our lives, we have to realize that when we're going through things, first thing that must kick in to let us realize that God has set me up for something special, because I got to realize I'm an alien. I don't belong here. That's right. So I'm going to go through certain things down here on earth. But how many know that's to get me to my Father? Amen? Y'all ever, when you go out of town, and you be glad to get out of town, but once you get out of town, you're glad to get back. Some people say, I don't know about you, Pastor. If I go out of town and I can stay, I'll stay the rest of my life. But you all remember Dorothy used to click her heels together saying, no place like home. No place like home. Out of all what she saw in Oz, but there was no place like home. And I guarantee you, if you stay away from home a while, there's no place like home. And so spiritually, we got to understand that when we're going through situations, we'll never be comfortable. Because we're not at home, amen? And we won't be at home until we get to heaven. Look at somebody and say, that's when you'll be at home. And so we have to create in us, when we're going through situations, we're prayed up and we're fasting, but it seems like we got all these special things that we're dealing with, things we're praying for, we're hoping for. Seems like everybody else around us that's terrible getting it, except me. But we got to realize at the end of the day, all that's going to burn anyway. Amen? You may not get the car, your car just smoking. They run around in a nice new car, and they nowhere near the church, but yet where is my car, God? I mean, know that's going to burn anyway. I mean, know it won't be anybody driving cars in heaven. Amen. You won't be gripping those steering wheels in heaven, right? Won't be no detours or roadblocks. Because we made it. But we got to have a pilgrim mentality. Because to get through our trials and these various trials that we're going through, being children that love God and we're faithful to God, we got to realize one thing, that this is not my own. All these things that the world grips so hard to, they're going to burn anyway. Even when it comes down to relationships, there will be no marriage in heaven. So the first understanding is, we got to realize that we are strangers here on earth. Amen? Look at somebody say, I don't belong here. If God come back and crack that sky in a minute and say, let's go, I'm saying, I'm ready. All he got to say is let's. I'm saying, let's go. But he said, this is the history of Jacob. Started out with his son. He said, Joseph being 17 years old. Somebody say 17 years old. 17 years old. Do y'all remember when y'all was 17 years old? We got some in here 17, but do you remember back, if you could remember back that far, when you were 17 years old, do y'all know that was when you was at the prime? Now, I don't want you to think too hard on it. But that was a time where truly where you was under the influence of foolishness. And that's all your mind was thinking about, is getting into something. Because you was trying to what? Find yourself. people will tell you, well, you know that's going to happen. Well, you have in yourself, well, that's not going to happen to me. Because I can run up in there and it's going to happen to me a totally different way. Y'all remember when you used to think like that? Because I'm smart and I can outthink. I mean, no, that was one of the times when you was at your very best in trying to find yourself, right? But thank God for Jesus. Let me say that one more time. Thank God for Jesus. Because we could have died in all that mess, but we know some that did die in that, right? Amen. Couldn't nobody tell you nothing. You knew it all. You didn't even have your own. Didn't even know how to pay a bill. But you knew everything. It says, so Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brothers. I like this part, and you know, God began to give me an understanding of this Joseph being who he was, and he was a special person because at being 17, he was different from a lot of 17-year-olds. Knowing how we were, but yet we thank God that we had the parents that we had, but yet being who he was out feeding the flock with his brothers. So he wasn't idle as a difference of time as it is today. He wasn't at home playing video games, was he? That's right, on Facebook, Snapchat, and all these different things. He was what? Feeding the flock with his brothers. And how many know it's so important because those that spend that time of training their children, you know, and you don't train your children up to do nothing. How many know they're going to end up becoming to be good for nothing? Pretty much so. So that was within me just the other day, and I began to pray. I said, Lord, please help parents to understand that they need to continue to train their children to work and not be idle. I feel for the young men that will end up and have a mind to, if they do get marry a young lady, and yeah, he get hungry. I mean, no, you're going to run out of money going to McDonald's all the time. How is it that they 17 years old and don't know how to cook nothing? That's sad. We were brought up today, the girls did the cooking, the boys worked on the outside. Now we live in the days where we see parents, I'm looking at that men have 17-year-old, 18-year-old boys, and even in their yards, they don't pay nobody to cut it, but you got an almost grown young man in your household and he can't mow the yard. My son lived at home, and then when I lived at home, y'all know, I started cutting the yard when I was very young, when you start pushing the little small bar, not the top bar. And my son, I trained him the same way, and he cut the yard and cut the yard. I even got yard of the month several times. Because you raise that bed up, you know what is going to happen, right? If I don't do it right, something's going to happen. But today's time is different. Parents, train your children to work and to do something. We got a generation, all they're going to do, if they don't have a work ethic, you're saying, well, yeah, they're going to school, they're going to go to school. Most of the time, they're going to end up dropping out of school. And what they're going to do then? Rob, kill, sell, whether it be drugs or their body. We got a lot of that going on. But Joseph was special. We're going to find out the reason why. Because he was good for something and not good for nothing. It says, and the land was, and he said he was working with his brothers. He said, and the land was with the sons of Deon. It says, and the sons of Zilpah. It said, his father's wife. This is who he with. It said, and Joseph brought a bad report of them. Y'all hear that? Most of the time we hear the story, but we don't never hear that. That doesn't just click when we think of Joseph. Only thing we think about what happened to him. But how did it happen to him? Some say it was because of the daddy. It was because of what happened and what he did. But yet we realize right here that Joseph was very special because he gave a bad report. It's different from the rest of them. He said he gave the bad report to his father. He was kind of like a monitor. And y'all remember when we were young and went to school and the teacher left the classroom, she picked this, her little pen and said, hey, take notes and let me know who say something when I leave. And you all know it wasn't like today that if she picked Johnny, when Johnny come back, he said, oh, Miss Ward. He was talking. And he got up and she was dancing. And he didn't care because he was striving to make sure that he looks very well or that she would like him. He wanted to do right. So, that's one thing to let me know in our life. I mean, when we're friends and we can monitor people and we tell people about themselves, I mean, they kind of treat us as the enemy. Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor. If I tell you about yourself, don't treat me like an enemy. Don't treat me like they treated Johnny. Johnny lick his tongue out, he ain't care. But Johnny could run fast, couldn't he? But those who love God and those that are loved by God, they'll be hated for this. And when you love God, you love God's people. And so you consult God about God's people. And at times God will tell you, you're not going to tell other people. I mean, I went to God to tell God, tell somebody, and you told it to God. God will come back and tell you, go tell them this. And when you told them that, they didn't receive it. You start picking things out in your life. Well, then, you telling me this, but what about your children? Y'all ever heard that? They're not that good themselves. But we can't worry about that. He didn't. What made him special is because he was one of those special children. There was a word for that they call them ancient souls. They used to call children that because, they were children, but they wasn't childish. They used to have a name for their Mama Lucy. Mama Lucy, y'all remember that? Mama Lucy. Look at her, she Mama Lucy. She gonna tell on you. That's something. But he said he gave this bad report. Being a monitor, loving God, he loved his brothers. But they had a problem with it, right? Proverbs 9 and 8 says, so don't bother correcting mockers. He said they will only hate you. He said, but correct the wise and they will love you. If you correct the mocker, y'all know what's going to happen. He ain't going to like you. But those that love, correct, right? Being that they have, followed the correction as well. And it says, now Israel, Jacob, he said he loved Joseph more than all his children. Because like I said, he had that ancient soul. Probably because of the fact that he was that person that, he waited on Jacob more so than his brothers did. And not only that, he cared for him more than the rest of the brothers and sisters did. And so I've heard people say, well, you know what? You got to be careful about that. Because that can cause problems. But how many know if you got a child that waits on you or care for you or check on you more, how many know that can sit? Now, that's the fact that you don't love them, but you can have a favorite. Some people say that, that's one thing that people say. But that's not true. I don't have a favorite. Yes, you do. Because it's impossible to have one to love on you and one that does good or buy you a car and pay for it and do all those things. And the rest of them jokers ain't studying you. Give you a hard time, always in jail, always getting locked up, always got a problem, always going against when you trying to tell them something. Come on now. careful about that. You gotta watch it. You shouldn't have a favorite, but oh, we do. We do. It ain't nothing wrong with that. But it's how you do it, right? You just don't go in the midst of them all when they're talking and say and point out and say, yep, there he is, that's my favorite right there. You my son. Love you. Dad love you. You good. You don't do that, point them out. Here come my favorite. You don't do that, do you? Then you can cause some problems. But it says now he loved Joseph more than all the children. He says because he was the son of his old age. And I think this was more so connected not only just his old age, but it was the fact that, you know, that this was the son that he had by Rachel. And some say, well, you know what? Yeah, that's because Rachel she was dead now. But yet he had two sons, and that was Joseph and Benjamin. Benjamin was young, but yet Joseph, you know, it was special because this was his firstborn by the woman that he loved. And y'all know the story about Leah and Rachel and how he worked, you know, for you know, Rachel and how he went through for Rachel. But the reason why, because Rachel was beautiful. The Bible said that Rachel was beautiful, but she was beautiful in form, so she was fine. So yet you can have children, you know, and it's possible to really, and if you have been in and out of relationships, or you have been married to, you know, more than one person, but yet that child that reminds you of that person that you truly love, how many know it's easy for you to favor that child? Then to look at the one that got that old bad, messed up parent or relationship you've been in. You got to pray your way through that one, right? We ain't getting too many people saying that no day. I'm just calling like it is. That's okay. That's okay. We do this. We do this. But we love them, right? And we want the best for them. But thank God for the ones that strive to try to do right by them. But I'm here to let you know today, make sure that you get all your business in order. But yet he says because he was a son of his old age, he said also he made him a tunic of many colors. This is what caused problem, because one thing about it, when you gave this tunic out, this tunic was given out, you know, to the firstborn. And he wasn't the firstborn. Or this was a tunic that you had give out to one that was going to lead the family. Because in those days, when daddy started getting old, he said, well, look now, son, it's your time to lead. I'm going to take the back seat. Everything that belongs to me, I'm going to pass it on to you. And you take it on. And you wear this coat. And yet they had a problem with this, because how is it that this brother, that younger brother, received a coat when he wasn't even the firstborn? I think Reuben was the firstborn. But how many know God will bless those that he loves? Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor. When God shows you favor, that's because he loves you. Y'all know you got a lot of people don't understand that, and will hate on you because of the fact that God shows you favor. Amen? Give you a coat, make it look good, and all types of things. They want to know, why is this happening to you? Don't hate me because I love him. Joseph was special because he loved his daddy. And what that makes us special is when we're faithful and we love God. And people will get mad with you because of that. You're not going to put up with no foolishness. You truly, you want to be saved and sanctified. You want to be filled of his Holy Ghost. Unwavering. When people tell you, well, let's see, well, I believe it happened that way. You tell them, nope, this is what the word says. That's how Joseph was. He loved his father. He loved God too. That's right. Made him special, but it set him up for special problems. Yeah. He didn't ask for this. Did he say? He said, "Oh, Daddy, make me a coat." He didn't ask for that. But his daddy blessed him because he saw the love that he had. But it says, but when his brothers saw this in the 4th verse, it saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers. They hated him. They hated him to a point that they couldn't even speak to him peacefully. That means when they talked to him, they talked to him with an attitude. Shut up, boy. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. Y'all know sometimes we want to know why people mistreat us. God had to take me, I'm taking you down the road that I had to go down. And you're wondering why they treat you this way and treat everybody this way. You got to realize this. It's because of what's on the inside will cause people to treat you this way. And it says because they felt the way they felt about him, they couldn't even talk to him as a brother. Look at your name, say neighbor. If the world hates you, that's okay. As long as God loves you. John 15:18, it says, if the world hates you, remember that it hated me first. It says the world would love you as one of his own if you belong to it. It says, but you are no longer part of the world. So guess what? The world don't love you no more. He says, I chose you to come out of the world, so it hates you. So when we come out of the world, we're going to have that problem. Those that are still in the world, they got a problem with everything you do and say. Who are you? The same way it was about Moses. Who are you to God to talk to you? You ain't everything. No, but I'm loved by God. Amen. And you can be the same way. All you got to do is truly become special. It says now, in the midst of this, he didn't ask for this. And could you imagine how that hurted his heart? To have people hate you when you didn't do anything to them. It didn't say that Joseph went around, because the Bible always spoke about people that, that God blessed them with something, and yet they went and, just flashed it in others' faces. God blessed with sons, and y'all know the situation of the sister who God had blessed with a son, and because the other didn't have one, and she made fun of him. But he was humble. And it says, now Joseph is something about had a dream. He said, and he told it to his brothers. He said, and they hated him even the more because of this dream. It says, so he said to them, please hear this dream which I have dreamed. He said, there were binding sheaves. He said, there we were binding sheaves in the field. And he said, then behold, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. This is just a dream. He said, and indeed your sheep stood all around. But what they did, they bowed down to my sheep. Uh-oh. God ever laid something on your heart and begin to show you what he was going to do? And you begin to speak that thing because you had it in design of the fact to show a person what God is doing, and you're so excited about it, and you want them to be in on it. But when you start telling them, they let you know that they ain't really in on that. Here you go again. So you have to back away. He said, and his brother said to him, he said, shall you indeed reign over us? Who are you? You little Rudy. They used to call us Rudy Poop, right? He said, or shall you indeed have dominion over us? Who are you? They said, so they hated him even more. I didn't know you can hate as much as they hated. But they did. They hated him for his dream. This that was given to him by God. God said that we would have vision and dreams. It was given by God, but yet they didn't like that. How many know people will hate you because of the God that is dwelling on the inside of you? The special people have special problems that will lead to special reward. He said, so they hated him even more for his dream, but also they hated him for his words. They didn't even like what came out of his mouth. They really wanted to say to you, hush your mouth. Stop talking to me. I I don't want to hear you talk. You go to talking about how good your dream is and how God is. I don't want to hear all that. I don't want to hear it unless I'm talking. Let people who ain't right, that are mean and hateful and unfaithful, talk. It says, and then he dreamed still another dream. And he came back. You could tell the love that he had for his brother, because in spite of their hate, that didn't stop him from loving him. That's a special person. And he told to his brothers and said, look, I have dreamed another dream, and this time the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars bowed down to me. Uh-oh. Here we're getting hardcore with this one. This one you're really getting revelation from God. And he was feeling excited about it, because you know a child, that's one thing, is tell his brothers, but he knew the hate. But when you got a father or a mother, you surely want to call them right, those that can. For those that have lost our mother and father, there's sometimes I'm sure you begin to think that you want to tell them, but you can't tell them. But you can tell them. And it says, so he told it to his father and his brothers, and his father rebuked him. See, we don't hear about that too often. He said and said to him, as we often say, that it was just the fact that he loved him more. We got to don't misinterpret love and favorite, because he still had a love for his other son. Because his father rebuked him and said to him, he said, what is this dream that you have dreamed? He said, shall your mother and I and your brothers indeed come to bow down to the earth before you? It says that his brothers envied him. It says, but his father kept the matter in mind. His father said that it could be something to this. But I want to tell you something. How many thank and praise God for dreams? Anybody ever got a dream from God? Just say hallelujah. Hallelujah. But how many know God can bless you with a bedtime blessing? Anybody ever had a bedtime blessing that will help you through the trials of life? That dream that he regardless of what you're going through, that God gave you this dream that it seemed so real, and that it would be such a blessing if it be part of your life. You know, that's God trying to help you deal and cope with what's going on around you. And I thank God for vision and dreams, because that has helped me and still is helping me today to deal with my trials. I want you to look at your neighbor. They might be asleep, but just touch them right now. Touch your neighbor. Tell neighbor, keep the dream alive. Keep the dream alive. If God showed it to you, how many know it's going to happen? You just got to prepare yourself and keep yourself special. But thank God for dreams that help us through our daily trials. 12 verse says, then his brother went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. He said, and Israel said to Joseph, here it goes right here. He said, are not your brothers feeding the flock in Shechem? Y'all hear that? He said, come, I will send you to them. Listen to the response. He said, so he said to him, here I am. Remember, special people can have special problems, but lead them to a special reward. See, he was special because regardless of how they treated him, he still had the love. But if that had been some husband, we bagged on out of the room. We don't have to do it. I ain't going down there with them haters. They don't like me. They don't love me. But it shows a sign, not only the fact that he loved, but he obeyed. He said, here I am, and I know the best way to help you handle any trial is through obedience. Christ even said, he called it out in the beginning of his ministry. He said, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. He said, you want to get through anything? You want things to be added to you? He said, I'll add it to you. But first, you got to seek ye first the kingdom and righteousness. obedience is the best way out of any trial. That's something that we wonder why. That I can't get it is because we refuse to obey and we put us in there. He says, then he said to them, please go. He said to them, he said, please go and see if it is well with your brothers. He sent him on a mission to see is it well with the people that said they hated him several times. And not only with his brothers, but also well with the flock. And bring back word to me. It says, so he sent him out of the valley of Hebron. And he went to Shechem. Y'all see that? Truly putting his love to the test. But that shows a sign that love covers a multitude of sins. Amen? Anybody that say they're a Christian, they got to be a person that's willing to love. Amen? Ask your neighbor, say, neighbor, do you love me? Do you love me? Matthew 5, very familiar. We say it all the time. But do we understand? It says, you have heard the law that says, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. He said, but I say, love your enemies. And pray for those who persecute you. He said, in that way, you will be acting as a true child of the Father, which is in heaven. People that say they love God and don't love, there's a problem there, amen? And most of all, we were taught in the New Testament to let brotherly love continue. But in the midst of it, that made him special. Because in spite of all they did, he still loved them. So he went right after, chasing, trying to find it. In the 15th verse, it says, now a certain man found him because he was out there searching for his brother. I can hear him calling them out. It says, and there were where he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, what are you seeking? Y'all know he had been looking hard for him. It says, so he said, I am seeking my brothers. Please tell me where they are feeding the flock. It's a true sign of his love. He said, please tell me. Special person. 70 verse, it says, and the man said, they have departed from here. For I heard them say, let us go down to Dothan. Y'all hear that? It says, so Joseph went after his brothers and found them in Dothan. Y'all see why they had a problem, right? Dothan was 15 miles away from where they supposed to be. 17 years old, it was different. Joseph had that ancient, that what made him special. He was ancient. He was a child, but he wasn't childish. They were childish. Shows a true sign why he told it on them. Because they was always in place. And when they got from under the eyes of their mother and father, they went on and did what they wanted to do. How many have been down that road before? How many on that road right now? We ain't gonna get too many amens on that one. But if you're on it, you need to get off of it. Because that will get you in some trouble. Take it from one who knows and one who is a parent. That'll get you in some trouble. You'll be singing them, I wish and I should have. And only if I could have. Be special. So in the 18th verse it says, now when they saw him afar off, here it is, they couldn't even wait till he get up on them. He said, even before he came near them, he said, they conspired against him to kill him. Isn't that something? That's like Satan and his followers. That's what they desire to do, is to see something bad happen to you. To steal, kill, and to destroy. He don't like you. I don't know why we think he do. But he cares nothing for you. And just when you think he done kick you, and you're down on the ground, he gonna stomp on you. Because he want to destroy you. But yet they couldn't even wait till he got up on him. It said, yet they conspired against to kill him. So to conspire to kill someone is to kill someone in cold blood. One of those things like 1 John says is, that person that we consider ourselves, that we hate our brother, then we're a murderer. When you let that come out of your mouth, I can't stand, I hate, y'all know what? You a murderer. You might as well go and pick up the gun. But they conspired to kill him in cold blood. It says, then they said to one another, it says, look at this dreamer. See, that's how the word talk about you, those special people when they come, look at, oh, here he come. Here she come. Singing today. Ain't nobody got time for no singing. Talking about the Lord. I'm going through something. I don't want to hear about no Lord. But the 19th verse says, then they said to one another, say, look, this dreamer, he come. See, that's how the devil talk about those that love the Lord. Here he come. Uh-oh, here we go. Let us put it up. Go on, put the stuff up. Go on, put it up. Go on. Hold what you finna say about Sister Sarah. Hold it. Here he come. Here he come. Go. Here she come. It says, so come therefore, let us now kill him and cast him into some pit. And we shall say some wild beast has devoured him. We shall see what will become of his dreams now. It seemed like the fact that he just didn't have nothing against the coat. We always talking about it was the coat, but it wasn't the coat. It was the fact that God, he was connected to God. It was his dreams. See, the devil don't like it when you're a holy roller. Saved and sanctified. You see things, right? He don't like that. So it wasn't more so that they had a problem with the coat. It was a dream that they had a problem with. And how many know that's the devil's, that's his job. He want to kill your dream. Look at somebody and say, don't let him kill your dream. Come in and get you all cloudy. God done told you what he going to do for you, but he want to tell you, not you. Not you, not today. Not you, Sister Ebony. That's for somebody else. It says, come, therefore, let us now kill him and cast him into some pit, and we shall say, some wild beast has devoured him. We shall see what will become of his dream. It said, but Reuben said, hold up. I know God will raise your friend up. He heard it. So it wasn't all about the coat, because if it was about the coat, then Reuben would have had a problem with that, because he was the firstborn. He said, and he delivered him out of their hands. He said, wait a minute now. He said, let us not kill him. He said, and Reuben said to them, he said, shed no blood, but cast him into this pit. He even chose the pit. They won't throw him in any pit. That's how the devil don't care nothing about you or his followers. But he said, let's cast him into this pit. This pit, I imagine that pit was a little different and probably wasn't as deep. I think it was a well, what it's saying, so it may not. This was a dry well. It said, in which this pit was in the winter, saying, and do not lay a hand on him. It said that he might deliver him out of the hands. Y'all hear that? See, God will raise you up a friend no matter what you're going through, because you're special, right? Yeah. But how many know when God has a plan or he has a detour in your life, there are some things that people try to do to try to save you, they can't save you from that. He thought that he was going to be able to save, but how many know he had to go through this in order to get to what God wanted him to get to? So even in spite he had good intentions, it still didn't happen that way. It says, so it came to pass when Joseph had come to his brothers that they stripped him. They took the coat off then, right? It said they stripped Joseph of the tunic of many colors that was on him. And it says they took him and cast him into the pit, and the pit was empty. There it was. Thank God for Reuben, right? Y'all see the plan that was laid out before God? Detour that he had from one pit put him in this pit, because if he didn't fail in the other pit, then things would have happened differently. Look at your neighbor, say neighbor. Appreciate your detour.
Appreciate you.
But look at this. It says after they said this and threw him into the one there where no water was in it, it said, and they sat down to eat a meal. If I didn't know any better, they were sociopaths. They were willing to kill him and eat a meal afterwards. Isn't that something? I mean, no, our life without God, we just like that. But the reason why, how many know when you allow envy in your heart, that's what envy does to you. It'll cause you to do your brother or sister harm. It takes away the pity and pretty much your humanity. So look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, don't be jealous of me.
Don't be jealous of me.
Y'all see what jealousy started, right? Takes you away. Causes problems. Oh, is that a problem? It says anger is cruel and wrath is like a flood, but jealousy is even more dangerous. Proverbs 27:4. They will have you like this spirit, this sociopath spirit, that you're willing to do whatever to your brother you don't care about. That'll fall off. Serve right. They should have thought about it before they went down that path. It says, then they lift their eyes and looked, and there was a company of Ishmaelites. It says, coming from Gilead. It says, with the camels bearing spices, balm, and myrrh, on their way to carry them down to Egypt. So Judah said to his brothers, he said, what profit? Look at this. They're eating a meal, but they thought about, look, wait a minute, let's pull them out. We're not going to let them die like this. Hey, we'll make some money off of them. Said, what profit is that if we kill our brother and conceal his blood, we don't let the blood be on the hand? Come on, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites and let not our hand be upon him. It says, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brothers listened. It says, then the Midianites, traders, passed it by. So the brothers pulled Joseph up and lifted him out of the pit and sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 shekels of silver. Can't tell me that envy in a person's life won't sell you out. Look at somebody sitting beside you with that keen eye and ask them, neighbor, will you sell me out?
Will you sell me out?
Envy is there, they'll do it. Envy, when it's a part of your life, it takes away pity. Really take away your humanity. They'll sell you out in a minute. Sell you out and come up in here and let Minister Change to sing a song. And clap their hands too, right? I can't stand. Look at her. Look at her when you up. Here she comes. Here she comes. Says in this, and then Reuben returned. And even in spite of some people trying to save you, they can't save you because it wasn't meant for them to save you. It says Reuben returned to the pit, and indeed Joseph was not in the pit, and he tore his clothes. He was upset. Truly, he loved his brother. But it says, yet he still didn't allow that enough to push him to go and try to save him. But he couldn't do it anyway. It says, and he returned to his brothers and said, this lad is no more. And where shall I go? So they took Joseph's tunic, killed a kid of goats. Y'all listen to this. Dipped the tunic, y'all see this? In the blood. Then they sent the tunic off, of many colors. They sent it and they brought it to their father and said, we have found this. Do you know whether it is your son? Yeah, they didn't even say our brother. They said your son. They just didn't like Joseph, did they? Is this your son, tunic, or not? My sons would have came to me talking like that. I knew automatically they was up to something. What y'all do? But see, it's one thing about reaping what you sow. He said, and he recognized it and said, it is my son's tunic. A wild beast has devoured him. Without doubt, Joseph is torn to pieces. Then Jacob tore his clothes, put his sackcloth on his waist, and mourned for his son many days. And it says, and all his sons and all his daughters arose to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, for I shall go down into the grave to my son in mourning. He said, I will go in my grave mourning for my son. And said, thus his father wept. Do y'all see that? How many know what goes around comes around? He couldn't see through all of this. And the reason why, because he did the same thing. That one thing that we've got to be mindful how we start a generation of curses, right? Y'all remember Joseph's grandmother? Jacob's mother? Finds a way of coming back around, right? But it's the 36th verse. It says, now the Midianites had sold him in Egypt to Potiphar. And y'all remember the story about Potiphar, right? Went into the house. Potiphar liked him because everything seemed like Joseph did. That's something how when you're special, God will make sure no matter how they kick you, step on you and walk on it, you still blessed. And everything Joseph put his hands to was blessed. It said it blessed him so much that Potiphar thought about it. Said, you know what? I'm going to make him head of my household. He's second in command. Y'all see that? By being God's special person. That regardless of what you go through, you may be going through something right now, but you still got to hold on. And yet, he made him second in charge. Meaning that he had the authority as his master did. And it said, by him being in that household, that God blessed Potiphar's house, Egyptian. Said he blessed everything that was inside his house and everything in the field. But y'all know, special people have special problems. And just when you think you got life all figured out and things are going good for you, a detour. And y'all know who that was. Potiphar's wife. Come on, Joseph. The Bible said Joseph was nicely built and handsome. And she had to have him. And so she said, Joseph, come on and lay with me. Lay with me. She begged him and said she was on him every day until one time he walked in the house. And she said, I got it now. She jumped forward like a tiger ready to grab his prey. She grabbed him with her claws, and yet he took off and left his garment in her hands. So by her having the garment in her hands, she thought of something, being the devil that she was. And I'm going to lie about it, right? And she going to cry out like some say, he raped me. Potiphar came in angry. How dare you? I let you in my house. Hey. And just when he thought that things were going to go good for him, it changed. Special people have special problems, but the reward will be great. Cast him into prison. Y'all know the story. When in prison, no time, God's favor was upon his life. And after the favor being upon his life, he was made the head of the prison. The guards held back, let him bend over everything and all the people. Until one point, and you know one thing about Pharaoh, he didn't play. He cast his head butler and his head baker. Butler and the baker. But being Joseph who he was, never give on a dream. Look at somebody and say, keep the dream alive.
Keep the dream alive.
The dream is what God gives you. And you got to hold on to it. God blessed him to interpret dreams. So he interpreted the dream and said, yeah, brother, things are looking good for you. You're going to be out of here, back to serving the king. But oh, you baker, you done messed up. Your cookies weren't right. So you're going to die. Joseph told the butler one thing, that when this happens to you, when you get out and you back in your position, remember me. But y'all know how we get when we get what we want. We forget about God, don't we? I ain't going to church today. I'm tired. I'm not going to do this. But yet, how many know special people require special problems and a special reward? So no matter how he tried to forget it or it came to his mind, he didn't remember it. God finds a way, amen. The king needed his dream interpreted. And so now he wants to say, oh, forgive me, Pharaoh. I've been wrong. I should have told you about this, but I didn't. There is someone I know. His name is Joseph, and he interpreted my dream, and as well as the baker, and it came to pass. So called him, and immediately Pharaoh called on Joseph, told him his dream. Joseph interpreted. He let him know that there was going to be 7 years of famine, but there are going to be 7 good years first. So in that, immediately he took a liking in him. Took his ring off his finger. And when you take the ring off a finger and give it to somebody, then you was in charge. Made him governor. Can you imagine Joseph walking around, the little old boy that worked in the field with the sheep? But how do you know God know how to move you out the pit into the palace? See, that's why we don't give up on God. Because God will take you out the pit and put you in the palace. Moved him into the palace, put him over everything. And not only that, Joseph was blessed because he was over everything. The Bible says that no one moved their feet unless he told them to. If he tell them to jump, they ask him how high. That's how much power he had. And in the midst of it, God blessed him. But remember, special people have special problems. Joseph was about 30-something years old when he finally made it to the palace. He went through trials for about 13 years. Some of us can't go through it for one day. But how many know you got to remain special? And make sure you're special, because when your problems hit you, you have that reward. He received a special reward. But it still didn't stop there, because out of all of that, he was able to reunite with his brothers. Some of us, when we got to that pinnacle of life, when we saw them immediately, we were saying, off with their heads. But Joseph saw them, and they didn't. He knew who they were, but they didn't know who he was. He had to tell them. You remember me? I can imagine them, because he was royalty. They had their head down. You couldn't look at royalty. He said, I'm your brother. The one that y'all put in the pit. And the one that y'all took out and sold into slavery. But he said, don't bother yourself with that. I forgive you. Y'all see that? Gotta be special. So the next time we wondering why things are not going the way that we need to, realize that, first of all, you gotta be special. Most of all, you gotta realize that special problems are gonna come, and sometimes they're like a detour. But how many know they'll lead you to your destiny? And that great reward that God has for you. So I want you to look at somebody on today and just stand to your feet. Take them by the hand if you need to pull them up, because some of us, we get slow. We sure, but we get slow. I want you to take them by the hand right now. And that's okay. You don't know them. That's all right. But we're going to speak this into their life. We're going to make sure. Let's tell them, neighbor. If you're special, it may require special problems. But tell them, old neighbor. But tell them, but old neighbor. Special rewards are coming. They're coming. You just got to